This is an analysis of Fred Couples' golf swing. Fred was once one of the best players in the world. He is known for a smooth swing and was once one of the longest drivers of the ball on tour. At the age of 60, Fred still averages 295 yards driving distance.
Fred has very good ball placement. The ball is slightly behind his front foot. The shaft of his club is at a neutral position with no forward lean. His shoulders are tilted back, allowing him to hit up on the ball. Fred is able to keep the club head as far away from his body as possible. When his arm is parallel with the ground, the club is 90 degrees in the air, creating the letter L. The top of the backswing, most of the weight is on his back foot. There's a slight bend in the lead arm, and the club is past parallel with the ground. At the start of his downswing, the weight starts to transfer to the front foot. When his arm reaches back to parallel with the ground, the club trails significantly, and the angle of his lead wrist is much smaller than the L in the backswing. As the hands approach the ball, the club face is still far behind the hands. A split second before impact, you can see the downward angle of the club face and that the hands are still ahead of the club face. After impact, the lead forearm and shaft are now in line, and the club head is now traveling upwards. His wrists turn over halfway through the follow-through. He keeps his lead arm tight to his body in the follow-through. He finishes facing his target with his back heel lifted up, allowing maximal rotation.
At setup, Fred is relatively upright. His arms are out in front at a similar angle to his club. He takes the club back in line with the ball. His club head stays outside his hands until midway through the backswing. His club is laid off from the center line as he nears the top of his backswing. At the top of his backswing, his trail elbow raises, and his club crosses the center line. He bends his front knee to get extra rotation. His first move on the downswing is to pin his trail arm to his side, which shallows the club. His hands begin to move across his body. The club continues to shallow. Fred keeps his hands far from his body as his club head stays inside from his hands. His trail heel rises. As his hands approach the ball, the club head comes outside his hand path. At impact, his lead leg is in full extension, trail arm is still bent, and body is turning towards the target. Fred swings across the ball with a neutral club face, fading the ball. His club shaft is in line with his shoulder tilt as the club comes around. Fred finishes his follow-through with his hip squared to the target.